Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. It's 2021, good vibes, positive vibes, all that good stuff. And also to my new university babes, this video is for you. I'm going to be doing a series on how to get you through university the best I can. Not necessarily the academic registration and all that, but the kind of basic stuff that I can talk to you about, the little tips that I can give. Yes, those basic stuff. So kindly comment, please. I'm going to be starting with the things you need and the things you don't need to get into university or to buy to university. So stay tuned, watch this video, make sure to share to a friend, comment, like and subscribe. By God's grace, I just graduated the University of Ghana, and I can proudly and boldly say that by God's grace again, I went through university very smoothly. So I just hope that another person who doesn't have a sibling going into university or not having somebody to ask questions that has been bothering their mind or something can just tune into my channel and get these kinds of tips. That's the kind of relationship I'm trying to build with the people who are going to be watching this video, are going to be interested in it. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so when you see me looking down, I'm just looking in my notebook because that's where I have my tips. First of all, I want to start with the things you don't need, because the things you need are going to be kind of general stuff. You're definitely going to know that you might need this or that, although some things might be questionable. So I just want to start with the things that you don't need. First of all, you don't need a mattress to get into the university. That is the student mattress, the kind of mattress that you buy to go into senior high school. You wouldn't need that to get into the university. Secondly, you don't need a trunk or chobbles. Those two things are just for senior high school. Talking of trunk and chobbles, I need this and that. You don't need them to go inside a university. The only thing you would need is your suitcase. Thirdly, the things you wouldn't need is a mop bucket. When you get into the university, when you get into your room, and especially when you have a roommate that is a level 200 or a 300, they have already been there. So from cleaning their rooms, they might end up buying more buckets or something. So for those kind of things, when you get there, they might be there already. Most of the times, you would just use a rag and then an old bucket or something to clean your room. You can do it the traditional way. You can just go down and then wipe it off. Yes, if you don't want to use the mop. But most importantly, when you're going as a newbie, you don't need to buy a mop bucket or a mop cleaner or a mop. Yeah. So there are certain things that you need to get into your room to really know whether you need them or not. Talking of refrigerator, microwave, kettle, and then your electric cooker. Refrigerator. For me, for instance, I went to a room where my roommate already had a refrigerator, right? So I didn't really find a need to buy a refrigerator. However, there are certain rooms, especially those in, let's say, the diaspora. When you go to University of Ghana, there are halls that are called diaspora. Those are a bit high priced than the traditional halls, and those ones are, they're also 4 in a room, but let me say they are more modern or more posh than the traditional halls. There's no difference, but that's just high priced, and then it's on another side of the school, but that is it. So with those kind of places, at least with the 4 people in the room, about 2 people would like to have their own refrigerators, or 3 people. Yeah, the best is to have 2 refrigerators in the room because there are 4 people. Sometimes 3 people want to have their refrigerators in the room. So for something like that, I think you have to get there, know the situation, and then buy your refrigerator. Or if you are even given that kind of hall, I think it's best to maybe get your refrigerator. However, if you're in the traditional hall, all this boils down to the kind of people you're going to be in the room with. Yes. So whether you're in the diaspora, you're in Pent, or you've been given a traditional hall, I wouldn't advise that you straight away go and buy a refrigerator when you are getting into your room afresh. Yes, so when you get into the room and then okay, let me give you guys what I did. So for me, when I went to my you know, when you're giving your room, you would like to go and check out your room before you finally settle in. So when I went there at first, I didn't meet my roommate. It was my roommate's friend. So I saw that she had a refrigerator, and I texted her that well, it's all about being nice, and that is how you'll be able to get to your room and then leave the university very peacefully. So I texted her that I don't have a refrigerator, so I'll be using yours with you. I think I texted something very calm and funny, and she was like, okay, no problem. Yes, and actually my roommate was a very nice person, so I used her refrigerator with her. It didn't even take that long after I started, like I came into the room, and then the refrigerator was misbehaving. So at the end of the day, we had to I actually got somebody to repair the refrigerator. And this is also another tip. This is one of the things that you do to stay in a room peacefully with somebody. I actually got somebody to repair the refrigerator, and later on I think it still got ruined, so I had to buy another refrigerator, or my next roommate brought one, something like that. So that was how it went off. So I didn't buy a refrigerator when I was entering at first. Same applies to a microwave. For my room, the room that I was given, we were 2 in the outer and then 1 person in the inner room, right? So we are 3, but then the 3rd person is kind of secluded in an inner room with her own door, but when she's coming out, she has to pass in front of our space to go out and go into her room, right? With a room like that, for the outer, it's best to just have 1 microwave for the 2 of you, and then maybe the inner person will also have her own microwave. So if you go inside and you realize that your roommate has a microwave, you don't really need to also buy a microwave. You get it? It's just like double. Maybe when your roommate's own gets fault and start misbehaving, you can also get yours and you use it together. You get it? That also saves money, and then saves the working capacity of the microwave, rather than she having it and you bringing yours. Somebody might think that because they're coming at fresh, they want to bring everything, like they want to have everything, and some of them they don't want to share anything with people. These are some of the things that make people stay in certain places, and at the end of the day, everybody is angry in the room, and there are so many issues because everybody is kind of stingy and then picky with what they want to use. But there are just little things that you can do to stay in a room very peacefully. So this is one thing. And then in the university, most of the time we don't use a gas cooker, so we use what we call an electric cooker. For this one, I can say that you need to buy it. Like, you need a electric cooker. Why? Because everybody will cook. I can be cooking, my roommate will want to cook, her other roommate will want to cook, but it'll be best to, although the 4 of you will have this. The reason why I'm saying you need to buy this is also because for the electric cooker, you don't it's not something you plug and it's there, it's plugged on. You plug it when you want to use it, right? So you can buy it, and then as per when you need it, you plug it in. Okay, yes. So with that, you need to buy it, because sometimes I'm cooking rice and I'm cooking my stew. I want to cook stew, so I've started my tomato stew and I'm cooking my meat, and then most of these cookers are just two, and there's a double one and there's a single one. So if it's 2, I'll probably be using all the 2 at the same time. So with the electric cooker, it's best to have yours when you are going in. Now I'm moving on to the things you will need. Yes, the things you would need. First of all, you're going to need your clothes, obviously. So you need a few church clothes, because you'll be going to church. If you're not the kind of person who would want to go home to go to church, but you go to church on campus, you need a few church clothes. You need your clothes, I mean a lot of clothes for your classes. You would need a few outing clothes, because you would want to be going out from time to time, exploring outside town, whether you are in Kumasi Tech or whichever university you find yourself. You would like to go out maybe in the night or in the day or on your free day, so you need a few outing clothes. You would also need your bed sheets. it should be a student size, because in the university the beds we have there are mostly student side beds, so you will need a student side bed sheet. You'd also need a morning coat, I would advise, because if you are in a room where you will have to step out to go and bath, or even if you wouldn't have to step out to go and bath and the bathroom is in your room, you still need a morning coat, I would advise, and not to get, let's say, a big towel, because you can just use it to cover yourself. That thing is so not nice, because you are in a place with people, and especially when you would have to go out to go and take your bath, you don't want to be seen with a towel wrapped around you. That's the kind of archaic things that people really need to stop. It's not decent as a person who is in an environment with other people. You don't have to be doing that. You best need to get a morning coat, yes, or just a silky, yeah, morning coat basically. Other essential things you also need is a barrel, a bucket, and then your pail, yeah, and then a soap dish also. Yes, a barrel, because sometimes there will be water shortages. There will be no water, and then you would need other sources of water to bath, wash your bowls, brush your teeth, or even cook. Yeah, so most of the times you will need a barrel. If not, you would have to buy bags of water to do all these stuff. Yes, you need a bucket to take your bath, because it's not all the time that you have the shower running. Yes, and then your pail to be bathing, that is when you'll be using the bucket. And also with the bucket you need about 2, or preferably 3 or 2, and then a smaller bucket, because you'll be washing. So first you need like 2 buckets, and yeah, your soap dish, because yeah, sometimes in the bathrooms you wouldn't have these detachable soap dishes that you have in some bathrooms. So maybe you would be tempted, especially if you don't use a liquid soap that's already in a bottle, and you use how do you call it, a solid soap or something, a cake soap, yes, you would want somewhere to put it. So you wouldn't want to be putting your soap on that up on the wall, you know, that kind of thing. Yes, so you need a soap dish for that, and then the pegs when you hang your stuff. Your flip-flops, yes, flip-flops coming in the category of your slippers, your sandals, and your footwear. Yes, okay. Another thing that you would need that might not click your mind is your stationery, your torchlight, maybe your laptop, extension board, and the padlock. Okay, so with the extension board, most of the times in the university you will get into some rooms that have their sockets spoiled, or only one is working. I got into a room with such a situation. So with that, it makes your plugging of your equipment very stressful, you know. So when you go afresh and you have your extension board, you know that even if you go to the room and the socket is only one and they are using a multi-socket, which you might not get a space on, then you can opt to put in your extension board, and then you can all use the spaces or the slots you have on your extension board. That is very important. And then your stationery, your paper, your file. Yes, so you need your books. That's if you'll be using a notebook or an exercise book for class. You would need that. Your pens, your pencils. In the university, you're not giving these things. Even in senior high school, you're not giving these things. So these are things that you would need. And you will need the file. I'm saying this because in the university you'll be using a lot of A4 sheets, which is exams, tests, assignments, and all that. And some of these things you would like to keep them, and as time goes on they become a lot. So you would like to place them in a file so that you know that you have them as a bulk under your desk in your room or something, so that they don't scatter everywhere. And also you would like to maybe keep your receipts, and then most importantly, when you go to your hall fresh and then you do your various registrations, you would like to keep those files in this file because they are very important. And then in the middle of you being there, there will be instances where you need these files to be able to access certain things or get certain things that you are entitled to. Yes, that's very important. And this is a tip that I'm giving you to end the video. Yes, when you go to a university on your first day, like when you go to your room on the first day, you're going to be hungry. And then you might not click your mind to get food. And because you're new there, you might not be able to ask your roommate. Your roommates might not even be around, or of course you might be the first person. So most of the times, try and get yourself food when you are going to the room. Like, I mean, food that you can eat. Like, yeah. But if you have provisions, then of course you are lucky. Yeah. So, or maybe you know a delivery person on campus, or you are fortunate to get your roommate around, you might get something to eat. And yeah, and other things you will need is food stuff. Yes, when you're going to the university, like you are ready to settle in your room, don't be shy. You would need food stuff so you can do your shopping and then take it to your room at all times. And also you would need drinking water. As you're in the room, there are people who come around to sell water, or you go to the market and get bottled water in cartons if that's where you drink and you don't drink pure water. But on the first day, most of the times we don't remember to buy these things, or we are not used to the system yet to know when the person who comes around to sell water comes. So I would advise that you get about 2 big bottles of water in your room so that when you're thirsty you can drink them. Yes, these are some of the things that you would need and some of the things that you wouldn't need when you are going into the university, or sometimes you would need but not immediately when you are going into your room at first. So if there's anything that you have in mind that is bothering you, that you don't know whether you need to buy them before going or whether you will need them, you can link it in, you can kindly put it in the comment section below, and then I'll let you know whether you do need it or not. I'm able to render any help that any of you will need as you're getting into the university, and I'm wishing you all the best. I'm just trying to pile up other video topics that you guys will need to be able to go through uni smoothly. I'm trying to talk about roommate situations and all that. Yeah, so make sure to thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure to comment and subscribe. Let me know other topics that you would like me to talk about, and we'll see what we're going to do about it. Like I said, 2020 vibes, positive vibes, all that good stuff. See you later. Bye.